results in January have not been good, and the transfer window wasn't much better either. We have a serious problem here at Norwich, and I'm not really sure how I'm going to solve it. Let's go and kick some balls. Hello and welcome back to Norwich, part 28, season 4, in the Ferguson save, set in the future. And as you can see from the table, we are, as predicted, on a decline, and we find ourselves in 6th place. We've played 26 and we have 46 points. We are now 14 points behind the leaders, and we are 4 points behind Leicester, who are in 4th place and the last of the Champions League spots. We are going to struggle this season, I think, to get into the Europa League next season. And I'm not quite sure why suddenly this team is declining as fast as it appears to be, but we are on the decline. And having had a very poor transfer window, I'm not really sure how I'm going to solve this. Norwich isn't a club that is going to provide me with vast amounts of money, and therefore getting good quality players in is proving more and more difficult. And today we will be playing 2 games in the Premier League. We will be away first at Leicester, and then we will be at home to Manchester United. But before we get into what has been happening both on and off the pitch, if you are brand new to the channel, you like FM content, and you love to see people suffer playing this game, well, you are in the right place. So why not leave us a like and leave a comment, and that will help the YouTube algorithm push the video out to people who don't know we even exist, and will help the channel to grow. But let's have a look at what has been happening on the pitch since you were last with us. And when you were last with us, you saw us beat Wolves by 2-0 in the Premier League, but it has gone downhill ever since. We beat Bristol City in the FA Cup third round, a game we were expected to win, but then a 1-1 draw at home to Newcastle was followed by a 2-2 draw against Barcelona in the Champions League. A 3-2 defeat against West Ham followed, and that was followed again by a 0-0 draw in the Champions League. And then we bounced back a little bit. We beat Burnley by 4-1 before we were knocked out of the FA Cup in the 4th round by Manchester City by 3-2. And so in the Champions League, we did qualify in the top 8, and we finished 3rd, which means that we avoid the playoffs round and will not play until March, when we will take part in the round of 16. I don't really see us going much further than that this season. I don't expect us to. I don't want us to, really, because we have enough to worry about in terms of finishing in the top 6 in the Premier League and making sure that we qualify for at least a Europa League spot. The big surprise of the group phase was Celtic, who finished top with 21 points from their 8 games. And nobody was expecting that to happen. But we have finished 3rd. We are in the round of 16, and who knows what is going to happen. FM has a habit of letting you succeed in the Champions League when you don't want to, at the expense of your Premier League form. We have to make sure that that doesn't happen. February is going to be a much quieter month, and we only have 4 games during the month of February. So hopefully tiredness and fatigue should not be an issue during February. And we do have to play 3 big games. We play Leicester, Manchester United, which you will see today, and then we'll follow that with a trip to Blackburn. And we should be getting some points at least from these 4 games. It's going to be tough because we have a very tired team. We also have players who are not used to playing in the positions, in the tactic that we have employed since Christmas. We're going to go with it. Whatever happens, we are committed to it now. And this new attacking Brazilian style system is either going to let us down or we're going to take to it, and we are going to recover in the second half of the season. I really don't feel very optimistic as we go into February. And it was a very quiet transfer window too, and the problems that we had We had a number of players who were wanted, and they still are wanted, and we still have a great deal of players with that WNT symbol against their name, and unfortunately nobody came in with bids for any of the players. I would have sold one or two. We have to move on from this team, but if nobody comes in with a bid, what can I do? If I transfer list them, then I'm not going to get the money in for them, and that's not going to help me to improve the team. The sharp-eyed amongst you will notice that there is one player who is missing from that current squad, and unfortunately I did have a problem with Andrade Silva. What happened was that I criticised him early in January about his training. The following week his training had got worse, not improved, so I criticised him again. And then the week later it had got worse, and so I criticised him again. But each time that this happened, he got more and more aggressive with me, to the point where I did transfer list him, and eventually I sold him to Sunderland, one of my better central defenders, and he went to Sunderland for 17.5 million, rising to 21.5 million. I couldn't afford to keep him if he was going to be that aggressive with me. His form was poor, his training was diabolical, and at least we got one out of the door. So with only a couple of central defenders left in the squad, I had to replace him. And the first person who did come in was Eric Bonilla from Leipzig. We brought him in for £25 million, rising to 27.5 million. He is a good central defender. He is very strong. He's got good physicals and he has half-decent mentals, but he is low on aggression and bravery, and that could be a problem for us. He tends not to get stuck in when the going gets tough. He is decent in the air, he has very good jumping reach, his marking is good, and he is able to tackle. He's better than what we've got at central defence, but he's not the answer by any stretch of the imagination. He's cost us a lot of money, and I'm hoping that as a 26-year-old we might get a couple of good years out of Bonilla. And the second player that we've brought into the first team squad is just a young striker. He is Alessandro Finardi. He's come in from Milan for £9.75 million. He is a striker, as I said. He is decent for a young kid. He's just 18 years old. I intend to use him. I intend to play him. He's going to be starting on the bench during the month of February. We'll see how he gets on, but I'm going to use him because we've paid money for him now. We might as well give him a shot. He has good finishing, good composure. He's got decent technique for an 18-year-old, and he has a very good first touch. He can also pass the ball. I intend to play him as a deep line forward on attack, and hopefully he will do a good job for us. He's quite strong, so he should be able to hold the ball up, and with his passing ability he should be able to find colleagues and put them into scoring positions. I think he's got a great future in front of him. He's got 4.5-star potential according to my coaches, and I'm hoping that he lives up to that. We have to play him, we have to try and develop him. We did it with Jay Neal, and hopefully we will do it with Finardi again. And so that is the transfer window, and whether we have strengthened the squad, I don't know. I don't think so, and I'm not feeling very good about the second half of the season. We are continuing with this Brazilian attacking 4-2-4, and if it fails, it fails. If it works, brilliant decision by me. If it doesn't work, then it's been a very poor switch by me. We do have a number of players who can't play as the Segunda Volante, and so from time to time we will be playing them as roaming playmakers. But I think that we are in serious trouble, and we do need to get something out of these two games today, first against Leicester. Let's go and kick some balls. And so the team for today against Leicester is Gottsingol, Kamara, Muntean, Bonilla and Allen at the back, Belmonte and Puk in midfield, Hasoya and Zaprapoulis on the wings, with Maliti and Neal up front. And I don't really feel very optimistic today. Leicester are a very, very pacey team, and I think that they are probably going to catch us out at will. And I think that playing in this attacking style away at Leicester is going to get us into all sorts of trouble. I'm not going to change my style now. Whatever happens, we were losing playing the other way, so it doesn't really matter. The pressure's all on them boys. Go out there. I've got faith in you. Make me proud. Make the fans happy. Let's go out. Put on a performance. Let's score some goals today, because that has been a problem. When you can't score goals, you don't win football matches, as I have continually said. And if we are not getting shots on target, then we will not score goals. Leicester have made the better start to this game, and at the moment it's still 0-0. We've jumped up a place to 5th at the moment, but I'm not expecting that to last very long. Leicester, who of course are not in Europe this season, which will explain why they are doing better than we would have expected. They've also done some very good business, I think, in the transfer windows, and they've brought in some very, very quick players, and we are going to struggle to cope with the speed that they have up front. And also at the back, they have some very, very pacey players. I don't know why we can't pick up these players. We really struggling to buy players, and I don't know why. Everybody that we look at is extremely expensive, and we cannot afford to buy them. We get somewhere in the region of about 40 million each transfer window in the summer. Maybe I should just buy one player and spend a lot of money on just one player and improve the squad one player at a time. But even then, if they're going to cost 80, 90 million, 42 million isn't going to cover it. We'd still have to sell a player in order to bring someone in. I don't know how Leicester and Bournemouth and other teams like that are doing it. I wish they would let me know, but they're not going to let me know, obviously. And we are back in the game where we've got a little spell of possession here. As Belmonte, he finds a Sawyer who switched to the right temporarily into J. Neal. J. Neal has a chance, and we still can't put the ball into the back of the net. We really are struggling, and once again our forwards are having dreadful games, and I can't mark anybody specifically. They are way too fast. We're looking at very, very pacey players. We've got our line pushed up a long way, and I think we are really going to struggle to cope with Leicester's pace. Eventually they are going to score, and we could press him, but I think that the fullback is not good enough to do that, and we're going to find ourselves out of position. We are not a good team at the moment. We're struggling, and I don't know why suddenly we started to struggle this much, but we're holding Leicester. It's 0-0. You're doing well. Keep working hard. There's a couple of players, and again, if you look at it, it's up front. And we've seen already that they are not playing particularly well again. And we need to tell these boys this is not acceptable. Defensively, once again, we're doing okay. But up front, we cannot score goals. And I really don't know how to solve this problem. And I know that perhaps they're not used to playing in these roles, but when they're getting chances 2 yards out from goal, you would expect them to score, and they're just not doing it. And already, again, we've got players on 6.4, and then in another game, we could, against a team that we're not expected to win, we'll just get shots on target for fun. And running at the defence is not working here, and we need to perhaps tell them not to run at the defence. We just pass the ball around, try to keep possession. We can keep possession, just pass it around, don't run at them. And there's a ball into the box. Is this where Leicester break the deadlock? And they have got it into the box, but we've cleared it, and unfortunately it's coming back at us. It all looks pretty pathetic, really, and I'm not expecting much from the second half of the season. We're just giving the ball away, and there is the penalty. And we are just giving away penalties as well, like they're going out of style. And Leicester have a penalty, and we're going to go a goal behind, and I really don't know what to do. This is really a poor team, and if we don't do something, then I mean, maybe I'll get sacked, who knows, because we're just going downhill so fast. I can't believe it. how fast we're going downhill. And we are a goal behind. I'm going to shout at the team. I'm going to demand more from them. This is not acceptable. I don't need to see the penalty again. We are being beaten, and we are now down back in 6th again. Leeds are drawing with Burnley, luckily, which is helping us out. I need to make some changes. And so we've made our changes, and I don't think anything is going to come of it. I think we're in dreadful trouble, and 74 minutes are gone. It's Leicester 1, Norwich 0. We are down in 6th in the table. I just feel terrible, and if we need to get back into this game. Come on, FM. You've got the team cannot deteriorate in the way that you are saying we are deteriorating, and we just got back into the game. I don't know how. Leicester are absolutely thrapping us, and Fortes, who's just come on, has put one in from the edge of the box. I am in despair at the moment. I can't celebrate because we don't deserve to be in the game. And if we get something out of this game, I'll be shocked as I could be. I just don't know what is going on at the moment. I can't buy players, I can't improve the team, and somehow the game just keeps letting me somehow pick up the odd point when we don't deserve it. And why we are in the Champions League this last 16, I don't know. But here come Leicester again. Leicester are through. Leicester are going to score. It's a good save by Götze. Götze is having one of his better games today. We're back up to 5th. We're still 4 points behind Leicester. There's still 4 minutes left. There's going to be another highlight. I don't understand this game. I thought I did, but I've got no idea. Ball into the box, and what a chance! And the goalkeeper saved it. And we should have put that away. We should have put that away. Jay Neal has had a terrible game. And even now, the substitutes coming on. There's a Karaoke. He's had a dreadful game. Tambala's had a dreadful game. Everybody is absolutely dreadful. I'm going to say that was okay. Nobody gave us a chance. We didn't have a chance. And we've moved up to 5th. We're still 4 points behind the Champions League spots. I don't know how we've got a point there. I've absolutely no idea. We have to go and get the team ready for Manchester United now. We haven't got a prayer in this game either, but at least we have a week to rest. And, well, I don't know if it's going to be a happy week because injuries keep coming thick and fast. I'd like to get Wilden back if possible, FM, if you wouldn't mind. And also, I don't want any more injuries this week. Just give me a break, will you? And let's go and get the team ready for Manchester United. I don't know, maybe we'll pick up another point against Manchester United. The good news is that everybody around us seems to be losing as well. So let's go and get ready for the Manchester United game. We'll be right back. And so here we are, home to Manchester United, and the team for today is Götze in goal. Kamara Reguan is back in the team after injury. Bonilla and McSweeney. Muntean plays at the base of the midfield with Fortes as the roaming playmaker. Puk Zaprapoulis on the wings with Meliti and Wilden making a return up front. I don't think we are going to be very successful here today. This tactic is not working very well. The team are not playing very well using it. And the problem we have today is Manchester United have had an absolutely dreadful season. And we should be winning this quite easily as they are down in 14th. But Manchester United, I would expect, will make a recovery before the end of the season. And I'm willing to bet that recovery starts here. Although we are at home, we should be attacking them. They are the better team at the moment, But at the moment, we just have to go with what it is. We have actually had 3 shots and 3 on target, and that is an absolute unbelievable statistic at the moment. Can we get another one on target? As Muntin looks to bend one in, he's hit the crossbar, and it comes back out to Muntin. Muntin, again, do I want to be running at the defence? Have I got the players capable of dribbling at the defence? I don't think so. Maybe I'm going to just concentrate on passing. We'll take the dribbling off, and we'll just concentrate on passing it around. And here is Reguan. We've got the ball, which is a good sign. I don't know why United are playing so badly. They have a very, very good team, according to the players' attributes. And I just wish I could get players in of that quality. And maybe our woes would be over, but I can't afford them. And we have intercepted. Zaprapoulos in space. Zaprapoulos hits it over the crossbar. And suddenly all these shots we were having on target are suddenly now not going on target. We still have 5 shots, 4 on target, which is pretty good for us. But it is getting worse. 6 shots, 4 on target now. But we are taking the game to United. It's fairly even at the moment in terms of both possession and chances created. Is it going to be another draw? I suspect it might be. Are we going to sneak a victory? I very much doubt it. United cannot be lounging around down the bottom of the table for much longer. I suspect they will make a recovery as the season goes on, and it will begin here. They are looking fitter than we are as we come up to half-time. And again, I'm not very impressed with my players. There's a number of players who are just, I don't know, it all looks very lazy to me. And it's fairly even at half-time. And the fans expect a win. Don't let them down. And I'm going to tell the defenders, I need you to step up. I'm going to say the same for the midfielders. And I'm going to say the same for the attackers. Lewis Wilden, back in the team, is having an absolute nightmare again. And what did I expect? Did I expect anything different? Manchester United are starting to dominate the game as we speak. And at the moment, it's still 0-0. At the moment, we still have this we can't score goals disease. And as attacking as we are, I don't know what we can do. I can't attack anymore. I can't throw any more players up the pitch. We're creating chances, we just don't seem to score goals. And what is that telling me? My forwards are rubbish? Is it telling me my midfield is rubbish? Is it telling me the entire team is rubbish and Manchester United have gone ahead? I'm not surprised. I've had a funny feeling that they would start making a recovery here today. Sometimes you can read this game. You know what it's going to do. Teams you should be beating, in the end you don't beat them because the game has some work to do and it's just going about its work. And Manchester United cannot be finishing that low in the table. We're going to drift down the table. We should be low in the table, so it's going to take us down. That's the way that the game is. Let's go and make some changes because my forwards are dreadful. And so we have made our changes, and I really don't feel like watching any of the games at the moment. I just feel like this whole thing is falling apart, and there's nothing I can do to control it. And I hope that I will be dumped out of the Champions League very soon because that's getting in the way. And we are losing to Manchester United here, and it's pretty much what I expected. We're still in 5th somehow, but Arsenal do have a game in hand and they will probably go above us now. We'll be down to 6th. This has been a pretty appalling performance again. I don't know what else I can do. What can I do? I am attacking and I cannot score goals. And maybe I should go fully defensive and just get 0-0 draws every week. That's not the way I want to play. We're going to play this game, and whatever the game decides is going to happen is what happens as Manchester United try to make it 2-0. And another pointless highlight, but we do have possession, but we're not going to keep hold of it, of course. As Manchester United look again to break on the counter-attack, we look poor, absolutely poor. Götze picks the ball up, there's 30 seconds left. I need to get this game over, get this episode done, and get this season done, because we are in serious trouble. I'm hoping that what will happen is that players will want to leave. If we don't finish in a European place, I'm hoping players will want to leave. It's the only thing that I can think of to do and take the pressure off everybody. You can all leave and it's full time. We've lost to Manchester United. I'm in despair at the moment and I'm embarrassed. I'm really embarrassed by that performance. It's shameful. Quite rightly said. You've embarrassed me as a team, and I don't know why they suddenly can't play football. During the first half of the season, we were a fantastic team, and then suddenly, after Christmas, we can't play football. If we look at our form at the beginning of the season, it's amazing, and then suddenly, after Christmas, we don't know what a football is, and we can't score goals, we don't defend very well, we haven't got a clue, basically. And no matter what system I seem to play, it doesn't matter. We have to win against Blackburn, that's the end of the story, and then I'm hoping we lose in the Champions League. I need to get out of there. We're not going to win it, so why be in it? And I will play a reserve team in the Champions League because I just simply don't want to be in it. And so we'll come back for the game against whoever it is in the Champions League, and then we'll follow that with the Premier League game against Sunderland. I'm hoping that in between that we found a little bit of form. I can't see it myself, and I think it's going to take a disaster here at Norwich for things to improve. I need everybody to leave the club, basically, and then I can start rebuilding it. And that's it for this episode. It's been an absolute disaster. If you are brand new to the channel and you love to see people suffering like me playing this game, then why not drop us a like, leave a comment, help the channel to grow, help us to support the British Heart Foundation. And I am a very, very disappointed manager. I just look at that form and it's not form I've ever seen since I took over here at Norwich. It's the kind of form I'm more used to seeing from Burnley in the live stream. This is looking like a poor football team. All that remains to be said now. See you in the next episode.